will offer him.
Hi, my name is Emily Peterson. I'm a mom of 4 in the Ankeny Community School District. I want to, first of all, welcome the new board members, and we're excited for you to come on board and support us parents and our concerns. First, I want to give every child who's a minor under the age of 18 to leave this room, because what I'm about to read, I don't think is for their ears. So please, if you're under the age of 18, I ask that you leave the room. And if you're listening online, parents, please ask your children to leave the room. I'll give you just about a few seconds to do that. When I became aware of the material available to our children in our public school libraries that contains pornographic material, I had to look for myself as a concerned parent. I was really in disbelief. However, I did look into the books that were mentioned to me, and I have one of them here today. This book is called All Boys Aren't Blue. Here's the proof that it's in your high school library. When I first laid eyes on the material I'm about to read to you, my heart raced, I felt sick, and I wanted to throw up in my mouth. This is one of the checks for understanding whether material is obscene. The word to describe the material as obscene is a litmus test as to whether distributing material to minors is criminal. So now I'm going to give you a chance, like I said, hopefully your children are out of this room. He reached his hand down and pulled out my dick. He quickly went to giving me head. I just sat back and enjoyed it, as I could tell he was too. He was also definitely experienced in what he was doing because he went to work quite confidently. He then came up and asked me if I wanted to try on him. I said, sure. I began and he said, watch your teeth. I didn't want to let him know I was inexperienced, so I slowed down and I took my time and luckily got into a good rhythm. He didn't know I was a virgin and I did my best to act dominant like my favorite porn star. I was an actor and this was my movie. There was so much excitement running through losing my virginity. For once, I was consenting to the sexual satisfaction of my body. This moment also confirmed that sex could look how I wanted it to look. What I've just read to you is grooming material. It's sexualizing our kids. It's normalizing pedophilia, and it needs to stop. Now I ask you, raise your hand. Those of you listening to me, I'm sorry, I'm feeling really sick to my stomach right now, but this needed to be done. Raise your hand if you found that obscene, please.
It's disgusting.
Anyone up there want to raise their hand? Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. And if you don't, what does that say about you?
Disgusting.
What does that say about your heart? Protecting our children and making them feel safe, which is your job. This is not the first time I brought this to your attention. I've also brought this to the attention of a lot of you previously. And now legislators and senators have the information.
Your time is up.
Thank you. Thank you. And now you can choose to do what you will with this, and you will be held accountable. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Kimberly Hanel.
That's right.
Do you need me to read the statement again?
No.
All right.
I'm also going to ask that if you have minors to please excuse them from the room, as well as what I have is very graphic. I actually have pictures of what's in the books. This is gender queer. That's in the Ankeny School District. You can look it up. It's in the books. I have the picture of what it is. I'm here to discuss these kind of books that are in our schools. And as a rape victim survivor myself, when I was age of 14 from my stepfather, this kind of thing is very triggering. I do not want this to be seen in my schools. I do not want my kids to be exposed to this. I am going to read you what these books say. I was 11 or 12 years old for the first time I can remember fantasizing about having a penis. I was laying fully clothed on the hillside under the open sky. I held a folded handful of grass between my legs, safe in the knowledge that I know if I was discovered, I could release the imaginary member and it would disintegrate back into the scattered stalks. For years, my standard method of masturbating was stuffing a sock into the pants and masturbating to the bulge. This would develop into hip thrusting while thinking of my latest gay ship. Literally, I got off while driving, just rubbing the front of my jeans, imagining getting a blowjob. Fast forward, we've been dating for 2 months and we've made out, we've had sex, we've moved on to sexting at work. I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you, and it will fit my favorite perfectly to my dildo. You are going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me. This was the most turned on I've ever been in my life. I am dying. This is the visual I pictured, but I can't feel anything. This was much harder when it was only in my imagination. Let's try something else. Now I want to ask you, the school board members, do you find this obscene? Do you think this is appropriate for children in school to see? Do you think this is something that you want your child to bring home and let your other children read it to your kids? I find this very disheartening because we can't even bring a Bible into school. Because if my child was to bring a Bible into school, they would be told to take it home and not bring it back because that goes against your policy. But child pornography is not against your policy. I think you guys need to look hard on what is in our schools and what is being distributed to our kids, because this is child pornography. This is grooming. And trust me, I know what grooming is because it happened to me. And I do not ever want to see another child go through what I have. I'm here shaking right now because this has triggered me so much that I cannot even bear to let another child see this kind of thing. And this whole book is that way.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Can we ask questions?
Yes, you can.
How did you find those books? What school was that in? I totally agree. That's very
You
inappropriate.
can go online. There is we have the website that you can look into the school board and you can type in what books are in our school libraries. This one is currently in the Ankeny Centennial High School.
So is the other one.
I can confirm that.
Thank you. I just wonder.
So I just wanted to take the visual. I'm sorry for it being graphic, but this is what the kind of stuff that is in our schools. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention because maybe you guys didn't know. And so I would just really appreciate, like, if we could just work together to maybe, if this stuff remains in the school, which I hope it does not, but if it does, I hope that we can maybe have a system written so that way we can check out, like the parents know what books are getting checked out. And so then if parents agree to it, okay. But if if the parents don't agree to it, then they can't check it out. So that's, I think, one option that we can maybe do.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Pruitt, I believe we have some policies already in place about how people can address material they feel is inappropriate.
The district does have policy in place when a parent or a member of the community disagrees with content that's in our library. This is just stemming from another book from the district's past that the community had questions about, which resulted in the policy. And so the books that were mentioned today are currently under review following our current policy.
So there is action already being taken.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
This book is still currently in the thing. It's on your website. Like,
Yeah, mine too. It's still
I've
available.
literally seen it in our library.
While you're reviewing these, we request that you pull them, please, because in the meantime, children have access to these books. It could take you months to review these. Think of all the children's minds and hearts that are affected in those months you're allowing those books continue on the shelf.
and not only that, is that our kids can check these books out without us knowing. They can sit in the library and just go through them, and we won't know anything about it, and neither would you because you don't know what kids have books at what time. So we just ask that you please just like review that, make sure these kind of books are not accessible to children under the age of 8.
Next up, we have Christian Holtz. Christian, do you need me to read the statement again? Okay.